Alright folks, for this week's Tip Tuesday, I'm going to show you how to skin a black buck life size. We just shot this guy a little while ago. He's a black buck. They swell up in a hurry, so it's no big deal. But because we're doing a full body mount, I'm going to go ahead and cape him before I gut him. I like to do that because there's less cuts and less stitching for the taxidermist, and on these short-haired animals, it's a little better. Again, use a sharp knife. My buddy Ruben's here again, hanging out, helping me. And again, you're not going to get a better knife than his. So check out rrknives.com, Ruben Ramos Knives, or Ramos Knives on Facebook. So great knives, stay sharp for a long time, hold a great edge, and they're super lightweight. So this is a skeleton knife with paracord, but we're just going to make the cuts, and then I won't do the whole thing because that'd be too long, but I'm just going to show you how to make the cuts, and then we'll go from there. So this animal is going to be laying down, and because he's short hair, I'm not doing a dorsal cut. I'm going to make all the cuts on the inside. And when you're cutting, make sure you cut from the inside out. That way, if for some reason you do cut through him, the taxidermist can stitch it real easy. But try and make your cuts as straight as can be. And again, that's where a sharp knife comes in handy. And I'm just going right down here to the scrotum. We're going to do this other leg here. By doing everything on the inside, all the cuts on the inside, the taxidermist can stitch it up. And on these short-haired animals, it's harder to hide stitches. So I'm just going to go straight across here because he's a life size. And then right here, we're just going to cut right down the center. And I was afraid that was going to happen, but they're just a black buck, and they swell up. It's hard not to, when they're this tight, it's hard not to poke a hole. It just happens. It's not the end of the world. And I don't use any of those razor knives. I just don't like them. If I'm caping off of the face, then I'll use a scalpel handle and a scalpel blade, but I don't like any of those replaceable blade knives with scalpels, because scalpel blades just for caping off of the body, especially something that's as thin skinned as this. So they have a tendency to break. They break off in the animal. I mean, I just don't like them. So I like a knife when I'm caping off of the body. I like a knife like this. When I'm caping them off the face, yes, I'll use a scalpel blade. But any other time, I carry one knife, and this is the one that I use. They just work better. They stay sharp. Those scalpel blades get dull in a hurry. You break pieces off. If you slip, you're going to poke a hole in yourself that's going to be real hard to stitch up. So I don't like them. So we've got our cuts made, and I'm just going to show you, you know, once you get your cuts made, you're just skinning them. I like skinning on a cradle when possible. And I'll show you a leg here. All I'm doing is working around the Achilles. And what I'm doing is I'm not cutting the Achilles, because if I want to hang him up, I won't hang him up that way to gut him, because I hang him from the head to gut him. So I'm trying to keep that Achilles intact. So I cut that, gave it some space. Now to leave this intact, I'm just cutting on this joint right here. And then I'll break it. A lot of people use knives, saws and stuff, and I don't. And if you cut in the right spot, these things come apart real easy. I didn't put hardly any pressure. Cut that joint. And I'll leave this for the taxidermist to do his job. And this gives me, if I want to hang him in the walk-in cooler or whatever, I still have the Achilles intact. So I'm going to finish skinning him, and then we'll come back. As we go along, the video would be really long if I did the whole thing. I'm going to keep skinning him. We'll come back and do a couple other videos and wrap this all up. But that gives you an idea where to make the cuts. Make sure you're cutting from the skin side out. Don't cut hair. Hair can't be put back. Well, hair sort of can be put back on, but cut the skin, not the hair. And make sure your cuts are straight. And since he's laying down, all this stuff will be on the inside and hidden. It's not on the outside of the leg. It's all on the inside, so when they stitch him up, hopefully it'll be hidden more. So we'll be back in a second, so y'all just hold tight and we'll come back and we'll finish skinning this guy. Okay, so now we've got the hide off. We have turned our black buck into a flat buck now. I'll go ahead and take these out because the taxidermist won't need them, and my dog likes to eat them. So I take those out, but that's it. That's what you got left. And there's no holes in him. There is a hole from this black buck was shot quartering away. He was quartering away pretty hard, so he was shot here. We'll let the taxidermist skin all this out, and we're gonna put him in a bag and get him in the freezer, and then next time the customer sees him or my hunter sees him, he'll be on their wall. So hope that helped. I appreciate Ruben videoing for me, and I appreciate him making some awesome knives. Again, check out rrknives.com or Ramos Knives on Facebook. Great knives, you'll really like them. If you want to be extra special, you can get the double diamond edition, knife. But yeah, we're gonna roll this guy up, put him in the freezer, and go eat some breakfast. So hope y'all are having a good one. If I can help with anything, or if you have any questions, just let me know. Happy to help. Y'all take care. Adios.